Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Cities Skylines, and Happy New Year. I told you, Cities Skylines will be back on my channel right in January, and here we are. Boom. Can't get an earlier Tuesday in January than this one, unless this goes live Wednesday, and then, yes, I guess we could have. Anyway, when we last left off in Cities Skylines, before we took our quick Timberborn break, which, by the way, I think we're going to continue Timberborn as well. I'm going to have to see what my schedule's like, see if I can fit that in. But anyways, we had disaster after disaster after disaster in the city of Westwood Reborn. Mainly because it turns out that the developers found some people who were willing to play ball to form a city government, knowing that they were in a disaster-prone area. They hid it from the insurance companies. They hid it from the people who bought in, the businesses, the residents, and everything. And as a result, there are numerous lawsuits currently taking place. And that's going to take quite a while to get resolved. So I thought, while we're letting that litigation play out and see who emerges from the rubble, quite literally, to take maybe some of their cash windfall in what is sure to be a massive settlement and developing somewhere else in the country, we would head to a nice winter area and just, play this city until about March. That'll give us several years in game, and it'll give us a chance to experience a snow map. I love snow maps quite a bit. I love the unique assets, so that is what we're going to do. We are in, ooh, that was weird with the UI. We are in Pine Pass. Named that because it passes between several mountain ranges and there's lots of pine trees. Yeah, I'm not the most original when it comes to naming conventions, okay? I have already unlocked the 25 core tiles here. It's kind of hard to see with the snow, but you can see instead of doing the full 81 tiles, I just did 25. That's to constrain me, to keep me in the bounds of where I want to keep things. So I'm going to pause the game. We are going to get started here by just drawing a road anywhere and then immediately deleting it, because we're going to use dirt roads to figure out everything else. And I want to bring this pretty far back here. Probably to there. Let's see. If that is... I wish I had, latitude and longitude. But I'm just trying to, eyeball roughly where that big hill is, because that's going to be our limiting factor here. I just realized I did that completely wrong, but that's okay. We can work with this. I don't want this to go off of that. I want it to go here. There we go. It's been a while since I've played Cities Skylines. I'm allowed to make mistakes, right? Sure I am. So we're going to get rid of that and that, because we don't want to make a weird turnaround there. We're going to come out. Do I have... I do have snap twos on. So we're going to come out... Let's get a guideline here. What is halfway between these two? So 300, roughly there. Okay, cool. I just wanted that for little guidelines so I know where to turn that. And then same here. Gonna have to use Anarchy, which is probably gonna come back to haunt us later. But we will deal with that later. And then I want this to be, arterial and then collector off to the side. This is gonna be residential commercial. This is gonna be industry. I think for now, though, I will just stick to the dirt roads. And I want to bring this down a fair amount. I kind of want to have a gap here and a gap of 1 here. So I'd want a road and I'm going to go up 220. We're going to count this up from here. And I'm going to go 400. And then that should be 240 instead of 220, which is what I wanted. And we're going to go up 220 more. I know I'm not connecting out to my collector. Don't you fret. We will get there. And then this, I just want to bring over the 400. Yes, and then I want to go 400 more. And then I want to do that again, like we did over there. Kind of longer blocks. Also, we are leaving room for pedestrian walkways or bike paths or whatever we decide to put in there. And then we're going to come in through here, and then we're going to go in the middle here, which was right there on that guy. Why are you being a bridge? I don't want you to be a bridge. I want you to be on the ground. And we will align this all to... actually, let's bring this over. We will align this all to terrain height eventually. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Actually, I would like this... Okay, I gotta be careful because, you know, money. I would kind of like this to be over one more. I'm thinking that I'd like to have a nice park area when we first come in. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then that'll give us a couple of areas over there, so I don't want that connection. Alright, cool. So then we need to do this again. Go up 400, 440, and over, and then just in the middle there. And then bring that out 400, and down, and down. And that should be enough to get us started over here. Now we need to come over here and figure out what we want to do with our industry. I'm okay with industry being a little closer on this side. So that would be bringing it out to like here, which is 140 will be where our first road will go. But that's not where I want it to, you know, end by any stretch of imagination. I want to kind of get out here as far as I can, which is going to be to about here. Maybe a little further in. That gives me a rough idea of where we can go. So how long is that? 800? I think 800 is good. So let's get rid of that. Come out 800. And then I want to go up the same 220 on all of these so that we have a couple of different blocks. Actually, that's not going to be where that connects. We're underground. Look at that. This is going to connect wherever the middle bit is. There we go. So I want to come up to 40 here and then bring this over to about there. Not quite that far. So I want to bring it to like here. That's exactly where we just were. Here. There we go. That's what I want. And then 220. And then let's go ahead and go up the 220 again. And have a bit of a longer block here for some utilities. We'll do the same on this side. So that's coming out 260. We may do something a little different back here. We may not need that little stub that I made. We will see. And then now I want to just do 220s. And I kind of want to break up the traffic back here in industry so that we don't get it all loading just onto one main road. I know that I want a collector, but I want to do just a little bit different here. I really like this side to be out longer. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and bring this out, and then we will run our collector up through here. And then I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with industry here, so we're going to stop on industry. I don't want to spend all my money. What I do want to do real quick, though, is we've got some areas here where just the nature of the game, not wanting to keep the road at grade, I am going to use the marquee tool, select everything right here, and then I'm going to go in and set it all back down to terrain height, and you can see instantly that fixed a lot of it. We do have some elevation changes, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. We can always flatten stuff later if we decide to, or we can just live with it. So coal will be brought in this way. They would make a right-hand turn and then a right-hand turn. And I want to keep those right-hand turns going. So I think, I really wish I'd be able to get 2 power plants in there, but that is taking up 5 tiles. I mean, I might be able to get like another one in back here, maybe? Yeah, I could do them No, I can't even do them cat-a-corner from each other. So we're just going to put this, we're going to let this load off of the collector. That way we can get these back to back. We're going to let that load off the collector, and then we're going to come back here and use this area for wastewater. And then we are going to hopefully be able to get like a water tower in up here by one of these off ramps. I use the electric roads, so that should get power. And then what we can do is go right here, bring this to here, to right there, and then over. And that'll get us our water. And then we will run this. Let's not spend more money than we have to right now. I'll run this over to here, and then up. And then we will follow this collector, though I don't know. Is this gonna... Oh, that just covers everything. Ooh, I got away with one, didn't I? I did. I got away with one. Here, however, if I go like here and then come back up here... Oh, that's perfect. That works. Okay. I thought that wasn't going to work. That works fine. Cool. So I still have 8 grand in the bank. It would help to connect the sewage. I did use this one, right? Eco? Eco, good. Doesn't make a huge difference on the early plants. It still pollute like a bear, but get a redundant connection there. So cool. That is all of our basics. So now I can spend whatever bit of money I have left on filling some of this in. We are going to have a bit of a grid, but it's going to follow the train more than I normally do. I'm going to force myself out of just my normal grids that I do. Though, when you're starting out a city, it's kind of unavoidable. It's just an efficient way to lay out a new city. So you kind of go with it. And I will just finish up this road network, and then we will be right back, and I'll spend all of our money. Cool. So I will switch back to my water view, so I want to make sure that I don't zone up in these areas where we don't currently have water pipes. But we are ready for some zoning. Let's just double check that. So that's that. 1, 2, third one back. That's as far as I can go. So this is going to be a big park area along here, and I think it would be nice to have some commercial uses, and we'll have some city services eventually come in along this area as well. But I think it'd be nice to have a good chunk of some commercial use right here up by the park. It's not going to be exclusive commercial, though. I am going to get some residential that fronts the park because, you know, people like to live next to a big, beautiful park. And we will... Did I say commercial? I meant residential. And you can see we've left room for walking paths that will, in my mind, function as alleys, even though they don't. I'm not using any custom assets or anything. I'm just not that kind of Cities Skylines player. I don't have anything against any of the custom assets. I do use a few, but not many. The reason I don't is I'm not really in favor of the hyper realism that a lot of people go for with like real world brands and things like that. And it can be tough to find things in the workshop that are lore friendly, that fit in with the lore of Cities Skylines. And that's kind of what I'm going for, as I like to keep things lore friendly. So I don't wind up using a whole lot of assets from the workshop because of that. Because you just wind up with, you know, Taco Bell and Walmart and stuff like that. And, you know, if for the creators out there who are using those, and even the creators out there making those, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my preferred play style. I want to come back in here and back this off. This is eventually going to become a larger collector road anyway, so it will need that space. But then I also want to have a 4-tile space, keeping those off. These are all just going to be local roads here, even though some of them will obviously, like this, is going to be serving as a collector, circulating around through here. But we're going to not treat it that way for now. I could bring in another road here if I wanted to. and just have some smaller... Well, I can't because I don't have any money, but I could if I wanted to eventually. So instead, we're just going to come in here. I'm going to keep my industrial kind of focused back here for now. In these areas, I don't want them right against this road since it is going to be functioning as a collector. That's just not good. You don't want your trucks turning in and out of a business. This may be a bit too much industry, but I think we'll be all right. All right, so we have 85 bucks in the bank. We've got all of our services in place. Let's just do one more quick pass since we've got some funkiness going on over here. One more quick pass to move it. I know I got some of the highway over there, but it's fine. Align all that to train height as long as I didn't screw up the overpass. I did not. So let's unpause the game. Let's get a good tilt where the sun's not blinding us. So unpause the game and see how long it takes us to get to our first milestone, which I think is 400? 440, Little Hamlet. So let's go. And it only took us about 4 minutes to reach that. We did get dangerously close to the game offering us a bailout loan, which would have disabled all achievements. I never take those. But right around the 300 resident mark, we finally got into the green and out of the red. And of course, we just got a little bit of a boost for reaching Little Hamlet. City government's ready to go. We now have a school board. We've got medical services. We've got snow dumps, which will be important on this map, but we're not going to get to those anytime soon. And we've got the recycling center. I don't really use landfills. I don't like them. But let's get the services in we need. But before we do that, we've got a new city government. They immediately raise taxes. No longer an unincorporated area. City government needs money. So let's get in some services here, and this is where we're going to use some of this space that we had set aside for some commercial. We're going to put some of our city services in there instead. We're going to come over here. That's right, we need to take a loan, don't we? We need to hit the right button to do that. And escape is not the right one. We need to take our $20,000 loan, and we need to build ourselves a school, which is going to cost us half of that loan that we just took out. And I think that right back here is a pretty lovely location. It'll have decent reach into most of the areas. And then we need recycling, which we can't quite afford, but I bet if I speed up time, we will get to that 16 grand no time at all because our tax is increasing. We're getting more and more people. We're already more than halfway to our next goal. And we're almost to our 16,000 to get our first recycling plant in, which is going to be any second. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. And the second it turns green, I'm clicking. Right now it's like, no, not enough money. But you know what? I say yes, we have enough money, and now we're broke. But just in time, what I didn't do, however, was get water out to the school. So shame on me. What I'm going to do is bring this up a block, over and then up a block, and over to here maybe on 1,600 bucks. That's all I need. 1,600 bucks. And 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I have it. That's easy. And now I need another 440 done. We're gonna go back this way a little bit more eventually, but not just yet. I kind of want to just let the city grow for a while and just leave it. Just let it alone. And of course, we are going to need more power soon, and that's 19,000. So I think that it's best not to add any more areas. As is, we're probably going to be facing some brownouts before we get the opportunity to build the next power plant. Unless, of course, we get to our next milestone, which is at 850, which we're less than 90 away, which will give us a second loan, but it'll also give us a nice little boost in money. It gives us a little cash bonus as well. So if we can get there, which it looks like we're going to any second now. Yeah, we've got brownouts. Oh, and we have no money, but we are so close to that goal. We're at 833. There's just the littlest of a sliver here remaining on the milestone lock. There we go. And that gave us a nice little chunk of cash. Sadly, we do have to use most of that on a second power plant. Very sad, but it's necessary. Let's check our water. Water's fine. Garbage, not so hot. But again, we're kind of right back into the same boat where we don't have a whole lot of money, but I am going to take this loan as well. The loans are there. I know so many people avoid them thinking it's just a bad idea, but they're there to help you build your city early on. That's why they exist. So we don't have high schools yet. We don't get those till 1300, but we do now have fire and police coverage to think about. So I think we are going to come over here with our fire station right next to our medical center, again, using a bit of eminent domain. And then for our police, I think we'll bring them kind of off this main park. Do we have post offices yet? We don't. That happens at 1300 as well. So now we once again have all the city services that are available to us, and what we can do is pay off that loan and save ourselves 400 a week. And that will get our city budget in better shape. We have a massive demand for residential right now. Huge demand, and a little bit for commercial. We may eventually bring some commercial along this corridor. I don't think so, though. I kind of like the idea of there being green space and just a gap here. We will have some things that kind of follow the terrain out here with some more organic shapes for our roads. But for now, it's just kind of going to go here. Out here, I don't want to bring this up another 220 here, but another 220 here isn't so bad. I think we'll bring it to here and then eventually use our parallel road tool to bring in a road that follows this highway at this same gap. Whatever that is. How many meters was that? 63.9 of 64 meters. And just follow that along. So for now, we're not going to fill any of that in because I want to see where that road needs to go. We don't have parks yet, do we? No, that happens at 1300 as well. So we definitely need to get our population growing here. Let's take a look because we also have a demand, though, for commercial. And I don't want to just isolate it back here. There is definitely something to be said for having a lot of good mixed use. And I think that the area to do that is going to be back along here. But first, while that snow is coming down, I wish I lived somewhere that it snowed more regularly. I mean, it does kind of snow here in Arkansas sometimes, but not often. And when it does, it doesn't stick around very long. It's sad. Where I used to live in Springfield, Missouri, we got snow a lot more frequently than we get it here in Central Arkansas. I miss it. I miss it a lot. So I think that this would be a nice logical place here to do another little commercial corridor. And I'm just leaving these gaps of one tile because I know there's going to be a walking path through there eventually. And I'd rather not destroy businesses if I don't have to. I'm trying to be thoughtful about that and being a bit more intentional about where I put everything. Normally I just use the paint bucket tool, the fill tool, and just go crazy. Also, speaking of going crazy, we can speed up time. Budget's fine. Everything's fine. The one thing I haven't checked, and I need to make sure that it is enabled, I play with natural disasters on. Not cranked up very high, but I do play with them on. I think it adds a nice bit of unpredictability to the game and can kind of mess with you when you've got plans. You've made some great plans, and now all of a sudden the game's like, no. So let's check. Do we have disasters on? Let's go way up here to gameplay. And yes, disasters are on at about a 25% chance. So I'm good with that. I think that's fine. Right now, our main disaster is the fact we don't have any snowplows. Then again, they're dirt roads, so snowplows would just tear those up anyway. So I'm not going to get too caught up in that. Where are the snowplows? They're dirt roads, aren't they? They are. The snow dump. What I'm thinking is that the city is going to make a good deal with the state because, you know, this is kind of a remote area. Nobody's really developed out in this area, despite the fact there's a massive lake here and really good river access. Nobody's ever really developed it. So I think maybe we'll reserve some of this space somewhere on this map. Maybe we'll tuck it back in the corner for a really big highway department facility with a lot of snow removal and things like that. One thing that just dawned on me that I've not been considering is heating. I forgot that was a thing, but it's not a thing yet until we get to 2400, so I don't need to worry about it. Hey, we are at the tiny town milestone where we get industry areas, we get parks, and I do want to get some parks in here, and we get a few policies. I want to take a look at those policies first, because I do want to throw in parks and recreation, because that will boost the land value when I put in these parks, and that's the only one that I want. So we are gonna take a look here. Do we have... Oh, we have all these beautiful, beautiful winter park options, and I may take advantage of some of them. I wonder if I should make this a pedestrian area instead of just a park. Because I think that these parks would probably be okay off of pedestrian roads. We do have pedestrian areas available. Man, this could get expensive really quick because of the way it charges. But I kind of like that idea of making this a nice central winter park themed area, and those sadly won't snap to paths. So I was going to do a city park here, but you know what? I've changed my mind, and we're going to do pedestrian area right in through here. And I'm hoping that the pedestrian area buildings that we need are already open. Because what I'm going to do is extend this pedestrian area into... How big are those buildings? Let's look at that first of all. Pedestrian area plazas? No, pedestrian area. There we go. They will fit where my pathways would go. So perfect. So yeah, we're just going to put them back there. Yeah, and that's overlapping, I think, enough. The pedestrian area. It is going to be noisy right there, but... Oh, that did not carry over into my existing pedestrian area. But that's okay, because what I can do is just bump this in right like that. And now it's in. And now we've got the option to use some pedestrian walkways. God, what is this costing us already? $7.57. That's not too bad. I kept it as small as possible. There's not going to be a ton of commercial through here. It's just going to be parks. That is all I really want in there. And I want to use a lot of these winter parks and a lot of these assets once we get them, maybe. Like, maybe the Snow Castle would be a good one for there. Maybe the Spa Hotel and the Sleigh Ride would probably be a great one for there. Some of these other ones, the Santa Claus Workshop, though that's a big asset if I remember. The Christmas tree would be great to have just right out here in the middle. So I could kind of plan for that, even though I can't afford it yet. Excuse me, I could plan for it now. It is, I just want to bump it off of here. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tiles wide by probably about that same number, yeah. It's 8 by 8. Cool. So what I'm thinking is, I'm going to pause because I want to be able to get my money back here. We're going to bring this. So that is 440. So 220 is my halfway point. So I kind of just want to find my halfway point, go out 5, and go out 5. Thank you. And that is the dead center. So I'd want this to come down 4 and 4. Am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this right. Does that leave me 8 in there, or do I need to back off one more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this can come over one more. So this was 120. So we only need to go 100. Nope, don't stop. Thank you. I don't know if I'm getting back all my money when I do that, but I think I am. I really thought I had to leave like a little bit of room for the actual road, but I guess not. And then we can bring that in, and then we can bring that in, and then the Christmas tree can fit there. And then we can fit some of those other parks around it. Maybe a little bit of commercial, but probably not. So I now need to change these to pedestrian style roads. And I think I'm just going to go with... I think we're just going to go with bluestone. We may run a trolley through there, though. That could be kind of cool. Well, we can do that later. But I like the bluestone. I think it's a good look. So we're going to spend a bit of money here. Get this upgraded to a pedestrian path. Because I need to make sure that I can actually place these parks. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. So yeah, we can have some really cool stuff going on back here. Cross-country skiing park, not going to fit. We've already made it too small of an area. But we could have like a fire pit park back in here, which would be beautiful. Maybe coming off of this side, back more towards the residential. Yes, want one. And then we can have a lovely ice sculpture park just right up here, kind of front and center. Gonna set that off to one side just a little bit. And that gives us a little bit of a start, gives us some parks, and creates, you know, that... Oh, that's not the button I meant to push. I was thinking, let's look at the snow. Creates some snow-related stuff. Where's my... There we go, parks. So yeah, you can see the effect that that's having. Why did it... Oh, I know why it made it all blobby. I need to clean that up, because it's costing us money. Alright, so hold on a second. We're going to delete the edges and clean this back up, because that's just going to cost us more money in the end. I want this... Oh, and then I'm coloring outside the lines. It's a very bad habit of mine. I think this is a good use of the winter assets, though, to make a nice central winter park on a winter map. I've been really looking forward to playing with a winter map again. I really like them, even though, you know, everything's blinding white. By the way, if you know of a good LUT for winter maps, let me know. I'm all ears. So then we'll throw in just a couple other regular parks, like, you know what? Instead of a large playground, let's give the kids a snowman park, which is pretty much just a playground with snowmen in it. I mean, it's really pretty much the same as just that small playground. Oh dear, we are out of electricity again. When do we unlock our geothermal planks? I really want to switch to geothermal. Not till 4,400. All right, let's get this in, and then get a couple more parks in, and then we will wrap it up for the day. Let's see. Do we have high schools yet? No. Yes. Crud. We need high schools. We also need another elementary school, which we'll need to locate kind of in the other side of town over here. So let's get that planning done. Let's grab an elementary school. Let's give them another snowman park. It's gonna get a bit redundant at times, but it's all right. And then how much is my high school? So I want to make sure we're meeting all the city's needs. High school is 24,000, so we're gonna have to come in take a loan, unfortunately. Just paid that one off, but oh well. And let's see. That's going to overlap where my path would go. We are going to use some eminent domain here, but I think we're going to use it on the businesses. Ooh, thunder snow, nice. Because what we're going to do is throw that in there, and then once we get a little bit more cash, which we might be able to afford now. Hello, I'm looking at the sky. Come back. What we could do is maybe just run a little stub of a road off to here. Where does it go underground? Like, it never will because that's not selected. Hello? Oh, dirt roads can't go underground, that's right. I forgot about that. So, I just want to get like a good, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I want like 4 tiles here because I want to be able to put a park against it. But then that's going to be way too steep. No, it's not. Like with that. I had to like double check the anarchy wasn't on. Nope, that worked. Okay, that's surprising. However, I spent all the money that I was going to go spend on a tennis court. Where's my basketball court? Our basketball court's not unlocked on snow maps. It's news to me. As soon as we get our money, we're putting in a basketball court, friends. We're going to do it. The high school needs it. But we're not making much money because we have 2 loans and lots of city services and a very, very expensive mall. However, happiness, 81%. I mean, there's no reason for it to not be happy. There's no buildings there. It's just parks. And that's going to probably be what it remains. We might do some commercial, but I doubt it. It's probably just going to remain a park. Maybe some commercial along this, and then we can bump the residential across the street. I don't know. I'd like for it to just be filled up with nice wintry assets and make it look pretty. Especially once we get... How much is the Christmas tree? $250,000. That's an expensive freaking Christmas tree. Woo, we're going to be waiting a while for that one, aren't we? Anyways, there's our tennis court. We are now broke, but that's okay because we have a lovely little city here in Pine Pass. And of course, this will become its own town. Well, it's not a city. It's a tiny town. We're on our way to Boomtown. But I'd love to hear some naming suggestions for this area. It probably will fill in just this area here. And then over here, I'm thinking we're going to do a really big forestry industry and take advantage of highway access here. We're only going to do probably forestry, maybe ore. I don't know. Is there ore on the map? There is. Not in the best areas, to be honest. I mean, we've got that out there in the water, but you have to have a regular ore industry first. Yeah, I may paint some ore in here on my own. Maybe do an ore industry, but I'm not really thinking about farms or oil or anything like that for this map. Kind of just thinking, let's make a nice winter resort town. Just someplace nice to go ski, to see some snow, and then hightail it back off that way to warmer climates. I assume that way is north. I don't really know. But anyways, that's going to do it for today. Let's jump into our lovely cinematic camera for my version of a city tour. We'll be back with more Cities Skylines next week, where we will expand out our base little city here that needs a name. Comments down below. Names. Thank you. But until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.